We're going to go back to 2007. And I was in school. I'd come back from being an actor out west and a director and whatever and all this other stuff. And I went to film school. And that's where I met Matt King, Jessica Graham, and Kyle Turner.
And we worked on a number of film projects and assignments between the years of 2007 and 2009.
I didn't really hang out with either of them for an extended period of time because there's so many people in the program and social circles are always shifting. But I saw them here and there, and then after school we all went our separate ways and learned a whole bunch of new cool stuff.
After college we went on to do our own thing with me and Nick, Matt, Johnny. We started up Film Force.
Johnny came to town for another film project, and then we decided to come together and do some short YouTube videos called Film Force Films.
And Film Force Films was another kind of group of people who were wanting to do stuff together and work on their craft. And what we did was we started shooting shorts. And our plan was, we had this list of things to do was, hey, we're going to shoot short videos once a week for a year and then see if we go anywhere with it.
And then Jess got in on that, and that was part way in, so she started helping out and then became a member.
They asked me at a certain point if I wanted to help out on a couple, and winters can be slow and it's a lot more fun to do stuff like Film Force, and so we did that and eventually asked me to be part of their little group and the constant team of Film Force. From there, we just kept strengthening this creative bond we were all forming with the three of us, and whether it's professionally or creatively, we all kind of keep developing as a group as well as individuals.
And we went for a full year every week, making videos, doing everything ourselves.
We took a break and we were kind of burnt out from doing the web series, that skit comedy for a year. And then we said, hey, you know what? Let's do a web series. And that was the next fruition. And what I had on the back burner was Spacehock. So I lived at a house, we nicknamed it Casa de Weller. And while we were there, we had a writer's circle. And then at that same time, I came up with this idea for something for us to do around the house. And it was gonna star Jeremy Landon and Spencer Hari. And I always wanted to work on it with, and we hashed ideas back and forth together, Jeremy and I. And I always tried to get him, hey, let's go, let's write this. And then it kind of got pushed to the side. But then I brought it to Matt and Jess because they were very excited on working on a web series.
We first sat down for a night and came up with the whole story structure about what we wanted to happen, all our characters. And then once we had that down, we started writing each minisode at a time.
We changed characters, made them male, female, changed it all up. From there, we started brainstorming ideas and creating and taking this script off in a different direction.
We went through a few different versions, some different endings and different characters, but eventually came down with the script we have today.
I think there's probably 7 or 8 different drafts, and then by the time if we finish shooting and what the viewer sees, that'll be the 9th, right? Because we did public readings, we argued about what this should be and that should be, and changed it all up and compromised and everything.
So the Spacehock script is about 20 pages long. We wrote in such a way that we ended each episode with kind of like a cliffhanger to draw you to the next episode. And so that 20 pages breaks down into about 4 to 5 minutes long for each minisode. So that's how we're hopefully going to release it online. We tried going for funding with the Ontario Arts Council.
We didn't get it, which is totally fine, because at that same time, we wrote in our grant application that we were going to apply for alternate funding, which was us running an Indiegogo campaign. Now, we originally had the plan of shooting this 20-page script with $2,500, which is pretty ambitious, and should I say in the easiest terms. We only raised $1,250 of that.
But after Indigo takes their cut and the cut from PayPal and delivering on the perks, we had about $800 to actually spend on sets, props, costumes, and then food and stuff for on set. When we tried getting Ontario Arts Council funding, since we didn't get it, it kind of put us in this weird spot where, are we still going to shoot it? How are we going to shoot it? Will it be possible? And we went through the whole summer thinking about what we can do. And then Nick called me one day. He's like, hey, so do you want to start our casting? I'm like, sure, when? How about next weekend? I'm like, okay.
I felt one of the reasons that Indiegogo was so good was because we told people that we were going to do this. And we have to do it, right? Because if we don't go and fulfill what we said we're going to do, we look bad.
Now we start talking about actually shooting it, which I was skeptical at first, I'll admit that. Because it's very big, it is space, and it's tricky. It's not, you can't just find a spaceship and rent it out for the day. You have to figure out how you're going to do that. So we pushed forward. We started sending out auditions. I was actually out of town working on another project, and I got an email in the midst of it all. It's like, oh, by the way, we're just gonna do some auditions. And I was like, auditions? Do we have a spaceship? Have we started doing anything?
And I said, well, let's just try it. That's all. We have the money. And things really worked out for us.
With the auditions, we did a lot of social media sharing and trying to get the word out to just bring in a diverse group of people, because the cast is a diverse group of people. And we had a 1 day of auditions, and it went really well. We got lots of people out, and they were all great. Everyone had a different read, everyone had a different take on the characters, and it was really hard. It was really hard to pick who would be in what role. Of course, there were people who jumped out, but everyone's interpretation was so different, and we thought so unique that we ended up including everybody that came out. We actually wrote in 2 roles to include people.
And then everybody pulled together, which was great. Our old Film Force team came back and meshed. And we were really lucky that Johnny had some vacation time and he came to Canada to visit us, and from his busy work schedule working on overseas.
I came here from Austria. I was out filming a feature film out there. I work in special effects as a full-time job. But the opportunity to come back to help my friends make a web series, I couldn't refuse. So I came back and I jumped in. I've been here 2 weeks and it's been really good. I don't need a holiday, that's what I come to do for fun.
Kyle built props and prosthetics and models, and he's makeup. He was doing amazing things and acting.
In the beginning, I wasn't really involved too much. Did the table read with you guys, and most of it was just me hearing about what you guys were doing. And then all of a sudden, you guys asked me to audition for Trevor. And then, after that, started helping out with props and set building and special effects. And
then we had Jessica, who's been part of Film Force Films for a long time. She was the DOP, which was pretty great, because she's got a really good eye, and was really happy to work with somebody like that, because she pulled out a lot of stuff, made it look great and everything.
We shot Spacehock with the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. It has a great dynamic range, which was good for us. We had limited lighting options in the spaceship, as well as being outside in the high sunlight was really hard. So it was great to have that option. It also adds quite a bit of production value because the image quality is just great compared to a DSLR. It gives you a very nice image. And also shoots very flat, meaning that everything looks very gray and very washed out, because then in post-production, it'll be fun to pull out all the crazy colors we have going on in the spaceship and outside and just make it look really cool.
We were able to pull off Spacehock on an $800 budget by going to the dollar store or a secondhand store to buy all our props and sets, which then we took and manipulated to make it fit our budget. We also had a few donated in kind, which is pretty much time and labor. All the sound equipment, all the lighting equipment, all the camera equipment, which we got a lot from Nick. We also got some stuff from Chris Physic. We also got some in-kind support at, on set, which from Nadine, who made us our sandwiches and soups and stuff, and brought that to set, so we all had something to eat. Because we pretty much did eating work to get our days done.
Working on a project where you're limited on people and limited on time, anything like you're gonna expect to start at nothing, and there was quite a lot done first, so we just added to it. You know, it was it's important to have that idea at the very beginning of what you want to see, but then once you get to the point where you're happy with it, then you can just keep adding more to it and more to it, and that's what we've done. And we've got it to the point where it's more than what everyone imagined for the budget and the time that we had.
I just want to thank everybody who was part of the Indiegogo campaign, part of the crew, part of the cast, and also even all our old Film Force fans. They were a huge support also. Then there is also, our family members, everybody's family members who helped out, even if it wasn't even seen. I think that without all this support from all these different people, we couldn't have done what we've done. And it was very humbling. None of us are getting paid. That's okay, because it's just to show what we can do. And without all this support, hopefully they like the final product. And thank you. Everybody at home, if you're watching this and you were part of that support, and even if you're watching it now, thanks.